Thank you so much for coming tonight, Tim Shriver. I remember the time when I got to sit with you at the Austin Club one night. I'm also a Special Olympics athlete, sir. So the word retarded, it really hurts my feelings when I hear people use that word, because I have health issues and have been following Special Olympics and being part of it since 1999 and continuing it with special needs people. I working at the Capitol and getting Representative John Boosie on the board of Special Olympics to
That was nice work.
to help out and
great.
represent the Kennedys, and from
Well, don't say
meeting-
Kennedy's. We're in Texas now. Come on.
Well, I mean,
Special Olympics.
well, I mean,
I know. I'm just kidding.
from I mean, and also from sitting with Tim Shriver at the table at the Austin Club when we had our night with Tim Shriver. It was such a fantastic.
You spoke beautifully. You spoke beautifully.
And sometime I will send Evan the copy of my speech
I'd love
that
that.
I read in front
Please.
of Timothy Shriver.
I bet it's
Nice.
great. I'd love to see it.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much for coming up to the mic. Good. Thank you.
Nice. Nice.
Great.
Well, there's Mark.
Hi, how are you?
How are you, Tim?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, sir. I've been in Special Olympics for 37. I'm 37 right now. I've been in it for 37 years now.
Wow.
Oh,
I
nice.
am.
Great.
I love it. The question is, Tim, is how many? I know I was gonna go. I was picked to go to Ireland last year, but I didn't get to go because I graduated from high school. But in the sense, when I saw the Washington National Games on TV, I gotta say you guys put on a great show for all the fans up there in Washington. And my question is, Tim, I want to know how many people can get involved to go to national and
Yeah.
summer games and all that
Yeah.
stuff's going to be going
So it's a
on.
really good
Explain how that
question.
works,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
a really
please.
good question. So, you know, today we'll have about 8,000 athletes from 190 countries go to Abu Dhabi World Games. Seattle was our USA National Games. We had almost 4,000 athletes, and we'll have another USA National Games in Orlando in 2022. So we're trying to build, because our numbers have grown, you know, if you were 100,000 athletes, then you had one World Games, it was fine. But when you have 5 million athletes, you never have enough competitive experiences. So we're trying to grow these events more and more. But realistically, unfortunately, as the movement grows, fewer and fewer people are going to get to go to the biggest of the events as a percentage. But we're going to build more and more Texas events and more maybe Southwest events and those kinds of things
Yep.
to hopefully give people many opportunities to get out and socialize and compete in lots of different environments. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Okay. Hi. Hi.
Hi, Tim.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to get to speak to you. My name's Kara Shell. I'm a special educator by trade. I studied here at UT, taught here, and then I was in Beijing for the past 2 years. My experience of working with people with disabilities was very different in China. And as someone who's on the international board, I'm curious how you guys are trying to change the dialogue to make people with disabilities more included in Eastern cultures.
Yeah.
Great.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
So we work very closely with the Chinese government, with CDPF, which is the Chinese Federation for People with Disabilities. We also work with the Ministry of Education in China. We have 1 million athletes registered in China, mostly in the second tier and third tier cities, but also in Beijing and Shanghai and others. So there's a real commitment to change. But culture changes in strange ways, right? You know, you can change laws not easily, but relatively easily. Changing hearts and minds takes a long time, and this is where sports and play and arts help us, because if we can elevate these stories in China, and we see, in some ways, I've said to the leaders in China, I use the example of President Kennedy announcing that he had a sister. Because if a political leader normalizes and in fact recognizes the gifts of a person with an intellectual disability, it has a way of pulling the culture into a different. It's not quite as easy to ridicule someone if the president or if Beyonce is talking about it, or if whoever else is huge on Twitter this month, or Instagram. My daughter keeps telling me, Instagram, Dad, it's no longer Twitter.
Twitter is over, apparently.
Twitter, I guess, is over, but I don't know, whatever. I can't, yeah.
Noted.
Yeah. But so it's a long road. I think the resources in Eastern cultures around peace, around harmony, which was a big theme in the previous Chinese administration, are very rich. But the stigma is also quite strong in a very competitive, in some ways, economically focused culture. So we have our work cut out for us. We're trying, and we work. We have a lot of partners, but it's 1 billion people, and we need you to go back over there and help us.
Right. But shifting in the right direction, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
also wonder, as the next question comes up, if technology, although it's harder sometimes to access some of the same platforms in those countries as we have here, if somehow technology allows for connectedness, which then in turn allows for that part of the world to see.
I mean, the social media stuff really helps us
Yeah.
around the world. I think this is part of one of the reasons we see so many good things in young people. I mean, there's a lot of challenges there too. But the message around inclusion, around human dignity, around human equality is moving through social media and through technology in China and other places too. That's a help.
One hopeful sign, possibly. So,
Mr.
hi.
Mark.
How are you?
How are you?
Austin?
Nice to see you. Thank you.
I was just curious what you're reading currently that you could recommend to us.
Oh, what am I reading right now?
Tim's book club. What do you got?
Anything that's inspirational.
Well, I'm reading, it's a sort of esoteric, well, I don't think it's esoteric course. I'm reading a book called The Cosmic Christ, which is by a Franciscan named Richard Rohr. It's a brand new book, and it argues that Christianity has missed the inclusive, familiar theme,
Back
right?
to the theme, right? Yeah.
It has, in many ways, missed the inclusive message that it carries, that the message is that there is a Christ presence in all creation, even he's a Franciscan, so animals and earth and cosmos, and that we kind of miss that symbol in many of our religious practices, and that we should revisit the dimensions of Christianity that open us up to the beauty of all creation. So that's what I'm reading. But I read.
Light reading, in other
well,
words,
that's
right?
yeah. It actually it is a good read. I recommend it. But I consider that a test from a friend. By the way, what are you reading? That's always a trick question.
Feels like you passed.
Yeah.
Right. We have time for one more. Hi, how are you?
Hi, my name is Blake. I just wanted to say thank you. I have been in Special Olympics for 17 years, and it has really given me a special place to belong.
Thank you, Blake.
Thank you, Blake.
And I'm sure you. Can I just say, since you get to go last, Blake, I just want to say what I tried to say earlier, which is standing at that microphone and being in this movement for 17 years, you have given countless people you will never know a place to belong.
Thank you.
And some of them are on the sidelines, some of them are watching you right now, and you're teaching a lesson much more powerful than you can probably realize. And I really am very grateful to you for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good. What a great place to end. Good. Good luck with all your work. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Everybody
me.
give Tim Shriver a big
Thank
hand.
you.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
again. Thank you. Good. All right.